And we're taking a look at a ISSC M22, which is sold as a 22 caliber Glock. It's not actually a Glock. It's pretty darn close, but it's not dead on. From the side, maybe from 6 feet away, I think a lot of people might think that it looks like a Glock. Somebody who's familiar with looking at Glocks, though, would tell by some of the levers and angles and things that it's not really a Glock. Uses a single. It's a 22 caliber. Uses 22 long rifle. Single stack magazine, 10 round. Fits into a fairly large magazine well, so it's easy to insert. Has a slide release in the same position as a Glock, a little bit different shape. Has its magazine release in the same position as a Glock, and that's fairly similar. The styling is a lot like a Glock, but it has these forward serrations that right off is going to tell most people that are familiar with Glocks that this isn't a Glock. It's got the full Picatinny rail, where typically Glocks just have the one notch on their light rail. I'm going to bring it out with this Glock 17, which is the compact size 9mm, because that's basically what this thing is built off, from what we can tell. They're about the same size overall, but they're not exactly the same. Again, and this mostly has to do with the most obvious feature is that the 22 has this hammer, which obviously a Glock doesn't have a hammer. It's just interesting. It's a single action, so it's a single action, but it has a decocker, and that's something that's unique. A lot of single actions don't bother with a decocker, and what that means is it's a lever that allows the hammer to go back into close on a live round without actually making the round go off. It has an adjustable rear sight, which has the U-shaped notch just like the Glock, and then it's got a much larger front sight, but a similar style front sight to the Glock. Looking from the business end, again, very similar down here by the grips. Overall, it's fairly similar. We haven't actually tested it with holsters yet, but we're guessing that we might have a little bit of trouble. The takedown lever is a little wider, and you can probably see in the video how wide it is. It's sticking out on both sides, and that might be an issue when you're holstering this one. Now back to the operation of it. It's a single action, so you have to put it into engage turn off the safety, and then you can bring back the hammer. As it fires, the hammer will come back from the operation of the slide. Let's see, it's got a safety here on the trigger, which is interesting. Use like a small screwdriver or something to turn that 90 degrees into a safe. It's got the decocker, adjustable sights, and I think that's about the features of this one.